Yeah, thanks very much. Welcome to the McLaren Technology Centre. I'm here with Zak Brown, Chief Executive. 3 days after, I suppose we can call it Championship night, and you've been quick to get the recognition.
We weren't
of that
messing around.
No, you weren't messing around. But I mean, I think you've needed the time to recover from the party, Zak, which I saw one or two of your troops at the airport in Abu Dhabi, and they hadn't been in Abu Dhabi the previous night. So tell us a little bit about that, because it was quite a crazy night.
It was unbelievable. The energy in the garage after the race was just epic and totally kind of natural. You know, forget about pre-planned speeches. It was just everyone going nuts. And then, of course, the Crown Prince, who's never won a Constructors Championship. Kind of no one was more excited than he was, so he was very generous.
Back to my place.
Yeah, he was very generous with supporting us with the after party, which the team couldn't be more grateful. They've been such great shareholders, and boss is so enthusiastic, so supportive of times when, you know, things were brutal, right? 0 points at the start of the 23 season, financial issues 4 or 5 years ago, and so to turn that around and be constructor champions is amazing.
Yeah, so I think Manama, which is the Bahrain capital, was illuminated orange. Everyone went there and then came back and flew back home. So quite a night, but well deserved. But listen, I want to pause and give you a bit of credit, because I remember the situation here which you inherited as chief executive. You know, there were financial problems around this team. Possibly, you know, really perilous ones. Crisis is not too strong a word to use.
We didn't use the word at the time.
No, but I mean,
looking back at it, it's, you know, probably
was there pressure on you then? Was there
anxiety
to lead this team through those troubled waters?
Well, there still is, but now it's more, you know, we've climbed the top of the mountain. Now we want to stay here. But in Formula One, you got to climb every year. But yeah, I mean, the pressure was intense, because our desire to win was intense, and we cared, but we always had so much support from our sponsors and our core fans, if you like, and the team, that the resilience of all the men and women here is awesome. And I think that came through when we had to do a quick pit stop and Lando couldn't put a wheel wrong. I mean, the amount of pressure that entire race put on us, and the way the team stepped up as they've been doing all year, I think showed we got some thick skin. Yeah,
well, I think you're modest, because the reconstruction has been overseen and masterminded by you. So very well done on that.
Thank you.
Lando, when he did cross the line, and I suppose we've got to look forward to your defence of the constructors and maybe winning the drivers as well. That's as affirmative as I've heard him sound, and self-confident. Next year will be my year. I mean, I think I asked you on the night, is the driver's title the priority? It would be, that's to add it to the constructors must be uppermost in your mind next year.
I think, you know, you want the clean sweep, why not be greedy and go, I want the drivers 1, 2, and the constructors. Other than that, but yeah, that's the goal going into next year. And Lando, eight poles. I mean, it was unbelievable. Oscar had a fantastic season, so I think we have 2 drivers that can compete for the championship, and I'm sure all the men and women in here will give them both another race car that's capable of winning races and fighting for the championship. If the kind of season started from Miami, they'd been that much closer. So great news is our kind of season's, you know, just going to roll on from Abu Dhabi. We have a tremendous amount of momentum. I've got a lot of confidence in the racing team and everyone here at the MTC. So we'll do a little bit more celebrating this week, and then it's full steam ahead to 25.
Yeah, listen, Oscar is on the rise. You've got to remember he's only going into his 3rd year in F1. So, I mean, that'll be the problem. Not a problem, but it'll be the situation you have to manage. In the history of the sport, when you've got 2 guys in a potentially championship-winning car, it's never nice for the guy who doesn't have the better season. Yeah. It's just something I think you've got to live with. Yes, you can put things in place, but someone is going to feel a little bit unhappier than the other. Is that fair?
Well, you know, only one of them can finish first in any weekend. They're great teammates. They're great team players. I think we saw that come through again in Qatar when we told Lando, you don't need to swap positions. And Lando was, you know, I owe my teammate one. So those are the type of teammates they are. Of course, come showtime, they both want to win, but they race each other cleanly. I'm sure it'll be a challenge at times, but we'll just kind of take it one race at a time. What we do is treat everyone fairly, equally, transparently, so there's no surprises. So we'll just kind of see how the season unfolds, and hopefully we have the challenge of two drivers fighting for the same Drivers' Championship at the last race of the year. I'm sure that will be nerve-wracking, but they race each other cleanly. I think that's what's most important. They race each other hard, and they want to win on track. They don't want to be gifted anything.
Yeah, that's a problem every team wants to have.
Exactly.
Listen, I will say this, though. Max Verstappen will take some shifting. 12 times the Drivers' Championship's been won by a driver that wasn't in the Constructors' Champions car. Only 3 times this century, and 2 of those were Max. He's a competitor to be reckoned with.
Oh, for sure. 4-time world champion. I think he does have a fantastic car. He had a teammate that wasn't quite on the pace. So I think if you had a teammate at his level, then I think the constructors would have been right in the mix at the last race of the year. So he's done an unbelievable job. Full credit to a 4-time world champion. It is a mega team. I think looks like maybe he'll have a new teammate next year. If
That's the info I'm getting.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yes.
There's certainly a lot of noise about that, which, I'm expecting the Formula One to look like it did this year. You had 4 teams that won, 7 drivers that won a couple races each. That's amazing. I kind of wish it wasn't going to be that competitive.
Well, the other competitors might be the team that fought you to the end in the Constructors this year, Ferrari, and Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc they might think they have the best lineup. It's a strong one.
It's definitely a strong one. And Ferrari is such an iconic team. I mean, it's kind of fairy tale stuff. If you could say, who do you want to come down to the last race, the last lap racing? It'd be Ferrari. It's the most iconic team in the history of motorsports, not just Formula One. So it was a privilege to race them to the end. Carlos and Charles is a pretty awesome lineup. So I think Lewis and Charles and Max is punches above his weight. We'll see who his teammate ends up being, and George Russell's awesome, and I expect Kimi Antonelli, just like Oscar and Lando, to be awesome. So I think those are the obvious competitors, but I also think with how competitive the sport is, I wouldn't rule out some other teams getting in the game.
Well, that's interesting. Well, just to finish, when we spoke about this on Sunday night, how you changed the mentality to McLaren had to start thinking of themselves as winners again. This will help enormously.
Oh, for sure.
I can't help thinking the team will go into next season in the top garage with the hospitality at the end as champions. Can you make winning a habit here, even into the next rules cycle and beyond?
That's the plan.
Yeah.
That's the plan. I'll let you know how you'll see how we get on at the same time I do.
But it's only a benefit, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. No, the confidence. I mean, I think, we saw that under pressure in Abu Dhabi. The mindset of the team was, let's do an even faster pit stop, not, let's hope we don't not do a good pit stop. So the mindset has definitely shifted to, let's go out and win this thing every single weekend.
Yeah, well, listen, well done. And that is the positive hangover of victory, I think.